I always believed in what my father said, and one thing he told me is, if you become a good person, you might become a good musician, but you have to become a good person. So I usually work around everything. I have worked the least with the music also, but yeah, I mean, technique has not been everything. I mean, in the beginning when I learned, I practiced quite a bit just to get my hands over this instrument, and then I had to let it be, and I'd waited for things to seep into me. I was a very slow learner. Also, at the same time, I was interested in smallest movements in the raga, the small intricacies and everything. And I realized that in the beginning I could not hear them with my father and my uncle, and then later on I could hear them, but it took me at least maybe 20 years to put them into practice, because it just took time. Maybe I'm just a slow learner, but I think also I'm not someone who will go around an entire repertoire and do this, do that, do that. I will take two things and just spend time with them, and try to go deeper into them. So I keep on revisiting what I have learned, going back to what I'm doing. So as of recently, I was thinking of doing a new bunch of rags, and then I said, no, I'll go back to what I have learned before and just enrich those even more. And then maybe something else will come. Maybe I'm thinking maybe I'm lacking something, I don't know, and I need to find that out and do more work on it. And so the philosophy of teaching in a house was कि सीखना नहीं है, सुनो, listen to it. Don't learn it. Be in the space, listen to it, absorb it, and at the same time work with your music. And at time changes and you become more mature and you understand this. It will come to you or it won't come to you. And either ways, we think it's okay. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's not, you're not going to kill anybody, or no one is going to कि बोले ऐसा नहीं कि 10 रुपए की चीज़ है तुमने 8 रुपए का ही बजाया, ऐसा तो नहीं है संगीत में. So whatever you do, the thing was to do it properly, and rest if you don't know doesn't matter. Somebody else will do. Maybe he'll do it much better. You don't have to do what everybody else is. Because you do what you need to do, what you enjoy doing. Never pressurize myself to practice for a concert. You practice for the sake of understanding the work. Concert is by the way. It's like जैसे घड़ा भर गया है तो आपने पानी पिलाया, फिर घड़ा फिर से भरेगा समय आने पे. So in that context, I believe in playing lesser concerts. कि महीने में अगर 2 concert हो तो कुछ भरता है, something fills, and then you can go and share it with people. I also believe that I cannot play for the people, I can play to the people, because there are 1,000 different minds, and which mind can I please? I cannot please this. That's not. It is not pop music, which has a different way of looking at things and a different way of approaching things. They have a target. They know this. They know this. It's a very different culture, and I'm not saying it's easy. It's not at all easy. I mean, I cannot do that, but I can do this, and I like being with this way of work, where I feel it doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end, and I can just spend a lifetime with it. If I get concerts, I don't get concerts, if people listen or don't listen, I like to be with this work. There is no formula. I mean, it sometimes happens. Sometimes I want to play so much and I cannot play. And sometimes when I just let it be, जब थक जाते हो ना, छोड़ देते हो, तब वो होने लगता है. तो I think it's. I'm not saying it is born out of nirasha. It's not born out of that kind of. It's not happening. But I think you let things be; they grow on your own. Otherwise you're making a bonsai tree, rather than the tree just growing by itself. It is around the same thing. I mean, I like staying at home. I like teaching a lot now with the students. So because when I'm showing them something, I'm also rediscovering what it is like. जब मैं उनको बता रहा हूँ, मैं भी देख रहा हूँ कि देखो ये चीज़ कितनी सुंदर है, When it's happening, it's happening. We are all enjoying that thing. And then all of us go back into our practice a little bit. They all said, I go and sit in my room like a lazy guy, do nothing, and then think about what's happening. And somehow, like you say, that this is very important. That's why I have realized that it's very important to space the concerts. I don't want to. I used to do concert after concert. After 6 or 7 concerts, you become technically perfect. And the 7th concert, you're going to hit it like a bang. People are going to love it. But not necessarily something new is going to come out of it. You require enough material to churn out 10 concerts at a time. But then you do require a break. Some point, you don't want to touch your instrument. You don't want to touch the music. I do a whole lot of things. Like we get into listening to Nusrat Fateh Ali or Begum Akhtar or listen to Bryan Adams or something like that. Just chill it out. And then come back again. And then go back again. Because I think 24/7 in one thing, it's not... dedication does not mean that, you have to drown yourself in something. But you have to also be aware of how much you can do, what is your capacity, how much you can do and how much you have to let be. And I think if you collect about after thinking and after being with it, a whole room bhar ke agar if you collect, something 5% of it can only be displayed. Because when you're playing something like a concert like this, there is no cut in between. You cannot edit. So what comes through are ideas that are keeping on going. So you will make a mistake, you will not make a mistake, you will move, you might go down, you might go up sometimes. Sometimes you go back to the phrases that because there is nothing to say. And then again you go into something else. So reinventing itself requires the kind of thing you said is shut down the space, shut down yourself, think about your work. And I think discipline is a very big part of it. You have to discipline your mind to be with it. Not to deter from it. No matter what happens, just keep on going, because actually 90% is failure in life. Anything you do. Absolutely. Even in the animal kingdom, 90% is failure. When the lion is hunting, 90% of the time he's going bhuka. He's not having food. So I think we also doing some, but we have this thing of we want to show that we are performing, we are making a goal and all that. I think sometimes we're just fooling ourselves. We should just say ki theek hai, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens, because also our education system is such that it teaches us to make a goal, do this, do that. So
and sometimes it just becomes ticking on a checklist rather than...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there is a lot of risk in what you're asking. The risk is that people will not know you. You might not make money. No one might acknowledge you. But if all these things don't matter, then it's fine. I think you can just get on with it. And I think that risk is worth somewhere. Today I can say, I wouldn't have said about this when I was 25 years, because I was like, I was still groping in the dark with something. Now I can say it's all worth the risk, because happily somebody can say, हाँ तुम्हारा तो हो गया है, तुम तो बोलोगे. But until the time it happens, you have to keep on taking the risk. Yeah. And then something happens. See, what happens with the generations of work is you already have a body of work you can refer to. You can refer to actually. So that is a plus point. But on the other hand, there is a lot of work and people have done a lot of serious work. So it also creates a standard. So you have to do it of a particular kind. But when I was learning, my father never told me, sit down and practice. He never told me, sit down and do your work. He said, if you want to do it, you will tell me. You will do your work and then I will see if it's done, I'll give you the rest. So in the beginning, I learned for something roughly like 4 years with my father. Started at the age of 16 and then up to 20 I learned with him. And I got 2 rags, first 3 lines. And he said, do this. And when I feel that you have done it enough well, I mean, it was that those 2 sentences become 200 sentences. And there is some substantial material and something of value which I can see is something, usme kuch panap raha hai, something is happening with it, then I'll give you more. And he held himself back till the time he died, because he said, ban nahi raha hai, so I'm not going to give you anything more. So that is one thing I learned in life is jitna patra hai, how you have to put only that much into the student. You don't give him everything because everybody cannot absorb everything. Then I asked him what happens if I don't get what all you're doing. He said there are two ways. If you clear what I have given you, you will get it. If you don't get it, it doesn't matter. It was never meant for you. So I said, then how does it happen? He said, this is what happens in life. You have to make it your own and you have to build on it. And I said, what about all this rag? He said, if I'm going to teach you everything, how are you going to spend the rest of your life? So you have to make it your own and you have to start working on what. So what was given to us were the seeds. Now we have to plant the seed, we have to put it in the soil, we have to check the temperature, we have to put the water, we have to put the fodder and let the tree grow and grow and grow. And in some season it will give fruits, in others it might not give fruits and flowers. So he said, this is how life is. You have to just look at it like that. Don't worry about what people are doing and what they're doing and all. He said, this is something which is beautiful. Understand that this is beautiful. Don't try to create your own beautifulness over it. And don't, he said, like a rose is beautiful. तुम उसको ज़्यादा सुंदर नहीं बना सकते. Just understand how beautiful it is and then everything will open out for you. Just be open, just be sensitive to that. So I think that was a very big learning for me. And then I shifted to my uncle. Also, he would also many times I would say, Ustad, what is happening? Am I playing fine? Is this going okay? He said, हाँ ठीक चल रहा है, करते रहो. I said, I can't see. I'm in the dark. I can't see whether I'm going forward or I'm going backward. And this happened for not one, it happens for like 10-15 years. He said, just करते जाओ. एक दिन तुमको दिखेगा. I said, जिस दिन दिखेगा, वो कब दिखेगा? ऐसे जब दिखेगा तब दिखेगा. उसमें बोले थोड़ी ना तारीख लिख के दे सकता हूँ कि कब लिखेगा. और नहीं दिखा तो नहीं दिखा, कोई बात नहीं, तुम्हारे नसीब में नहीं था. I mean, our teachers were so, detached in a manner कि just because you belong to a certain family, it doesn't mean you have to know everything and you have to do everything. Bole, if it has to come to you, then he said, my father said, अगर तुमको वो मिलना है तो बोले अगर गुरु नहीं रहेगा, जिंदा रहेगा, तो भी फिर वो आके तुमको बताएगा कि कैसे करना है. You have to have faith in that कि someone as a guru is going to. So, and he said one important thing which I mean, of course, I thought my gurus were the biggest in the world, but he said, बोले कितना भी छोटा हो गुरु, बोले even if he knows one thing, राई के तिनके के बराबर, बोले never think he's a small person. बोले गुरु किस जगह में होता है. If you give him that respect, you will grow. So, and then this atmosphere of very casually just not teaching, just talking about it, and there were students at home who were learning all the time, vigorously, getting up at 2:30, 3 in the morning, practicing the whole day until Ustad said, "Arey, bas karo ab, mat karo." And here I was sitting over there and I was not doing anything. And my mother was getting really an anxiety attack, कि this guy is doing nothing. And she asked me, do you want to do it? I said, हाँ, मैं तो यही करूँगा. She said, लेकिन तुम कुछ कर नहीं रहे हो. I said, I'll do it. So there was a certain kind of ease with the work. It was never meant for a performance, never meant to show anything. It was just, he had taught us that make it, is it किसी program में क्या बजाओगे? I said, क्या बजाऊंगा? He said, whatever you know, you will play in the program. You're not going to uproot some other thing. You're not God. I said, yeah. He said, then what is the big deal about doing a concert? And he said, what should be the difference be when you're doing a concert or you're sitting at home? Why should there be a difference? So all these things remained in my mind and I started working with them. And yet I'm somewhere here and the future doesn't, I don't know, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing. This is what the old Guru Shishya Parampara was actually. And when I'm teaching at home, to my students, I'm telling them, don't worry about it. Just soak yourselves in it. One sip at a time. Just drink it. Just enjoy it. I'm not worried if you're going to become musicians or no. Just understand it. Just fall in love with it. Just create, इश्क बनाओ उसके लिए, जस्ट इश्क में रहो उसके, जस्ट एंड यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इट ओवर अ गुड पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. अभी नहीं समझ में आएगा तो बात, बट जस्ट डोंट लेट इट गो. Because another thing is you can sit them, whack them out and make performers, but I think I don't believe in that kind of stress. My ustads never believed in that kind of stress. He said नहीं, अगर सीखना है तो प्यार से सीखना चाहिए, करना है तो प्यार से करना चाहिए. Otherwise he said don't do it, it's not worth it. You might be the greatest musician, but he says I don't care about that. बोले अंदर से अगर नहीं बोल रहा है, अगर तुम्हारी आत्मा नहीं बोल रही है, there's no point in doing it. I'm sure it was very difficult for my father to see that his son is not doing anything, sitting over there, He's listening to Michael Jackson, he's listening to Bruce Hornsby, he's listening to Madonna. And of course, I'm listening to him also and all that, but I'm not sitting and doing my riyaaz. And every time my mother is telling, आप इसको सिखाइए, and he's telling, ये जब रियाज करेगा तब मैं इसको सिखाऊंगा. So, but I think somewhere he knew that I would do it. Even I didn't know I would do it. So he knew that this guy will do it when the time comes. नहीं, ईजी होता है एक्चुअली. हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा अपने आप से एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं एंड वी ट्राई टू कंट्रोल एवरीथिंग एंड डू दिस लाइक दिस, डू दैट, राइट. लेकिन थोड़ा छोड़ देना चाहिए, क्योंकि चांस मिल जाए तो फिर क्या बात है. इट माइट गो अनदर माइल, यू नेवर नो. I just live very relaxed in life. I mean, it's too relaxed for people to see me do that, and they might be, some of them are unnerved. I mean, in every way I live, I'm just very relaxed.